Okay, Feud Slap versus Honoris over here for our next match of the day. Feud Slap hailing from the Rebellion server, rank 1 in their alliance with Vikings on Shroom. Actually, I think they changed their card this morning. Now they're allied with Orca White, Reborn, and Siu Generis. And then they said they're rank 1 in their alliance overall. So saying they're rank 1 over Orca is pretty impressive there. And then they said their message, their chat PvP, as it were. They said C-Rux sucks tree nuts. Interestingly, yeah, it's interesting. C-Rux sucks tree nuts, interestingly enough, which is, I guess, a player in Honoris who I'll let you introduce.
Yeah, Honoris coming in from the Cascade server. It looks like Honoris 1 is in second, even though there's a Honoris 2 in the alliance as well. Alliance strength on the server is 4th, and Siege is 1-0, so a pretty modest rating for themselves there. In fact, their chat PvP, their prediction is last place, fairly modest there as well. But their guild has existed since 2004, playing other MMOs together as well. So, hey, I mean, you got a guild that's been around for 20 years, predicting that they're going to be in last place. At the very least, yeah, I hope they have some fun doing it.
Yeah, no kidding. What do you mean you've been around you've been playing MMOs for 20 years and you last place? Come on, like, at what point do you become good? Is it in your 50s? Like, I don't know. But we'll see on this one. Dedication, though, to be around since 2004 like that. A lot of oinks going off in chat. Not sure if that's supposed to represent Feud Slap or Honoris. Either way, that looks like the lobby is ready to go. So we're going to move over toward Pick Ban, which I'll let you do this time since I hogged it last time.
Yeah, so interestingly, this one is going to be another gentleman's agreement to 30v30, so perhaps having some impact on the map choices here. But Feud Slap won and chose to pick, so Honoris got to ban. They banned Cherno, Daigon, Paquilo, and Manticus, some T2 maps that they didn't want to deal with there. And then the pick coming out from Feud Slap is, of course, going to be Azrael. So we'll see if we get a little bit more of a back and forth 30v30 on Azrael this time. The last 30v30 that we had on Azrael was a bit one-sided. We'll see what kind of pushes and regroups happen now that we are on that Azrael map again with a similar team size of what we saw earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, we'll see if the solid state hard drives really do make a difference in this one. As we move into match already, we're trying to keep things moving for the tournament, as we did have to remake one lobby. Oh boy, are they all up at 0.3? Where are they? Where are they? Honoris in the yellow, Feud Slap in the red.
Feud Slap's at 0.3, coming in through the stairs now.
Yeah, I see that right now. I'm wondering, who are we oinking for in chat? Stop oinking without telling me which guild you're representing. You're killing me. It's like quacking, and I don't understand why we're quacking in chat. Over here.
And we're seeing Honoris spawn in now over at Portal 1. Looks like they're trickling just a little bit. They might have to ball up before coming in.
All right, there's still no one has told me. Really? Not a single one of you is going to tell me what's going on over here? Oh, no way. They're coming in as black. Okay. Okay, I get it now. I'm starting to understand. Okay. That's going to get clipped. That's a little rough. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a little rocky. That's not my best moment right there, but the lot of pigs coming in onto the point for Honoris right now, doing circles around the point. Feud Slap, not really sure what's happening here. No way that they're gonna pig this too. Ain't no way. What is going on?
See, this is the level of competition that I have come to expect from the EU meta, Blue. I think this is really some pinnacle content that we're seeing here as one of the boards finally attacks, most of them just running in circles, though.
Yeah, yeah, they are just walking around in circles. Looks like Feud Slap might be asking for a remake on the lobby, as they said only 5 of their members didn't join, but I see a 30 versus 30. I don't see 5 members not join. I see 30 versus 30. There we go. It looks like, yeah, there's the have fun right there, as they've decided to go ahead and engage each other. Certainly smaller engagement than we normally see in the tournament, but I actually kind of like 30v30. Like, oh my gosh, Feud Slap giving that pig that slap right there.
Yeah, a little bit of a one-sided kill feed there in favor of Feud Slap. Both guilds kind of just looking at each other at the beginning of that engage, ready, no one caught off guard or anything like that, but it looks like Feud Slap is going to just kind of drop the hands there. I don't know if a single one of their players got killed in that brawl.
A little rough. It may have had something to do with all the oinking going on. Maybe again, that pig slop of a play that they're, yo, I'm just gonna make pig jokes the whole time. Fool me once on this one. We miss our Cordy. What do you mean we miss our Cordy? Let's take a look at the Cordys for a second. Cordys, Skadasian and Daddy on Honoris, and New and KS3LUS. On their side, on the other side again, Honoris, Daddy, and Skadasian over here are gonna try to make something happen, because that first engagement did not go very well on behalf of Honoris.
Yeah, a bit of a skill issue if you fill the lobby with 30 people and one of them was not your Cordy. So we are definitely not going to be remaking for that, but we still have another huge push coming in right on the stairs. And I'm watching this kill feed hoping to just see one red name die, but it's not gonna happen, it looks like.
They all got trapped in that little choke point right there and just vaporized over here. And I'm getting word from Feud Slap. They said they lost 2 members, but they're able to rejoin. And after the first engage happened, they said that they were okay. They were okay with it. And honestly, I'm starting to understand why over here, as Honoris really struggling to even get in on this one. I'm not sure how much you can split the fight up in smaller engagement like this. In small scale PvP, it's much more difficult, or smaller scale PvP, it's much more difficult to lock down chokes like this, especially since you can approach from 3 different angles. You can send statics all over the map to try to do something here. I'd love to see Honoris try something like that to at least try to pick up 1 kill on this next push here, but I don't see any of them spawn at any other spawn location right now. They're just kind of talking to each other outside the point, wondering which morph they're gonna try to fool me with this time.
Yeah, Honoris outside reminiscing about the good old days in 2004 as they group up. I would like to see a static maybe go around the side and pull some Feud Slap players away so they don't just get completely stuffed in that choke, because if your whole guild is grouped up and ready to go on a tiny little staircase like that, you can bet that the response is going to be instantaneous. And here they come through. We'll see if Feud Slap gives them any breathing room here. A fake engage from Honoris, not bad actually, getting Feud Slap to burn some cooldowns there. We'll see if they're able to follow up while those cooldowns are down and make anything happen. They're kind of lingering a bit. So what are we going to see here?
And push pull actually gaming right there from Honoris, that veteran strategy right there. And now they're going to push in with all of those cooldowns down. And look how great that kill feed looks for Honoris. If you're blind, have your monitor off, or are potentially colorblind, Honoris is winning this push. Cutie Andy picking up the kill, baby, right there. Good push pull to get an infinitely better push right there than their previous ones.
Yeah, Cutie Andy playing Scorpion, it looks like out on the edge, exactly where he should be. I've got his perspective now, and he's actually doing some work out here. I think the rest of his group might be dead, so he's probably about to go down, but he is maintaining presence out here and doing Scorpion things. I saw another kill from Honoris there on the other side, so perhaps another Scorpion or Assassin player looking like they're finally getting on the board here at least and able to hold some presence. That fake engage actually worked pretty well for them, Blue. I mean, they weren't really able to get kills off of it, but they were able to make Feud Slap kind of hesitate before stuffing that choke, and that allowed Honoris to get in. Unfortunately, once they did get in, that brawl is just going to heavily go back in Feud Slap's favor.
Yeah, I saw Gan get another kill right there, and then there's Cutie Andy. They're all in the same static. It's the flankers. Ooh, they got mopped up this time, so a little bit rough for them. The rest of Honoris doing what they can at the front of the engage right here. Kimiko getting pulled in right here. One of my favorite characters in Deadpool. Maybe that's what is referencing. I don't know what Mishiro. I'm not sure what the last name of that character is, but Deadpool, one of my favorite superhero movies. Oh my goodness. Kesslis getting a huge kill feed right there on the side of Feud Slap, just kind of mowing down their opponent. So it looks like very Feud Slap favored in this one, but they're gonna go on. I hope that they enjoy it, because they're gonna go on and fight Aura in the next round, Moral, and I'm not sure how well this is gonna go.
Yeah, Feud Slap, they definitely have the advantage in this map, but probably still a good idea to at least get some practice here, listening to your calls, listening to your statics, and, just being able to move as a group and learn the map, etc. You want to take every opportunity you can in the tournament to improve, even if the match is one-sided. If you're going to be going against a group like Aura next, then you can't get too lazy, you can't slack off. So even in a match like this, I would try to look for ways that they can improve on whatever they can improve on.
Yeah, Rookie Roku leading the leaderboards for Feud Slap. Cubics right behind him. You see me locked on him right now here. And both Spellblades and then both Cordies coming in on New and Kissless right there for their guilds. Damage taken very heavily Honoris favored. Kimiko, the top damage taken in the lobby. Again, locked onto that one. I'm good at picking them out. Amount healed 6.7 million from Magic, Reeboks, Slanjo, the top healers of the lobby. Honoris is Kimiko coming in as the top healer of the lobby and the top damage tanked of the lobby. Interestingly enough, the top damage dealt for Honoris is Goatborn over here. So interesting to see that. If we scroll down, we can see the top Honoris Secundi right there. Secundi's nuts fit in your mouth on the Liberator right there. All right, I had to get it out before I got blasted again.
Blue, we're actually seeing a little bit of kills come out from Honoris now. I just saw their flank squad with Cutie, Andy, and the rest of his group come in from the side and pick up like 5 or 6 kills. They have a Gladiator here, G9 Ann, who's getting some kills as well. At least I think that was a Gladiator, maybe not. But finally on the board here, able to do some damage. I don't know if Feud Slap was kind of just not paying attention or let their guard down, but either way, a legit push from the flank squad here. That kill feed looked pretty yellow for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Cubex here doing a great job of just pushing in the damage right now. This guy is just under absolutely no pressure at all in this one, and he is just absolutely pumping DPS right now. Holy moly, the side of Honoris is getting run down, but honestly, they're trying at least. They did get a cap off on the point. It's not going to be a complete shutout for Honoris. They do manage to get the cap down. Not able to make it happen though. Kizuki on the front line on that Crusader, doing what he can to make something happen, but he's just not going to have any heals. Kimiko standing right next to him. He died in my arms. What do you want me to say, Kimiko? Trying to keep people alive as one of the top healers in the lobby right here on the side of Honoris, and also the top tank for Honoris as well. And you can see why, as they're just healing themselves. Interestingly enough, everyone else is dying around them. And again, here's Secundi right on the backside of the fight. Look at him pumping down these damage. Just a focus fireball coming down as he keeps putting stuff down. PN 1404 actually gets a kill right there. Again, on the side of Feud Slap, but Secundi putting down a good amount of damage on the backside of the fight. There we go. You see him pushing down Miss Gora right there. And again, his static positioned well together on this side of the map. You're also seeing Deal No Skill right here on, again, yet another Crusader as they all try to basically position on the stone, despite the fact that their guild is getting absolutely wiped off repeatedly. Honoris continues to put their industrial grade helmets on and run back to the rift consistently right here. Skadasian in the middle of everyone, tries for a Cordy spin, not gonna find it there. Feud Slap just mopping up these members here. Guri in the middle of everyone. Again, not much to do as a tank in this one. Here we go, a great sword dagger for PN 1404 right here, looking for priority targets. And again, we'll see if he can find one right now. Jumps in the middle of everyone. I don't know if I would have done that. Yeah, gets killed immediately. Oh my goodness. Honoris with a big kill. What the? Wait, what? Honoris with a massive kill feed right there, Moreland.
Yeah, I don't know if they all just switched back into their PvP gear from their PvE sets or what, but we're seeing Honoris with a really nice feed. Feud Slap kind of pulled over towards respawn 3 now, as it is completely yellow. Maybe they're pulling back on purpose to give them a little room to breathe, but either way, still some solid kills there coming out.
Yeah, they're at 67%. There's room to breathe, and then there's throwing. on this one. There they get pulled in. Skadacian goes for a big Cordy spin right there and does manage to find a few kills for his guild at least right there, although he didn't pick them up, somebody else did. Cutie Andy getting another big kill feed right there on Honoris, coming out on top of this right now. Feud, are you good? Right now 97%. They're gonna take it. I don't think that that was intentional. I think that Feud thought that they would just take that back right away, as they're still fighting on the point right now, and Honoris has been given room to breathe. Feud now trying to scramble down the stairs to try to get back into position. Ain't no way. If they throw this, I am giving the most amount of poop, the most amount of chat PvP to this, and now Honoris in charge of the Riftstone, and they can keep Feud. And if they can keep Feud at bay here, I think that they can absolutely come back and win this thing potentially, Marlon. Again, Feud, I think, playing with their food.
Yeah, definitely playing with their food a little bit, but you would expect Feud to come down from the stairs and kind of just, you know, mop Honoris up and take the stone back. That is not what happened. Honoris was definitely holding their ground there. Now we're starting to see a little bit more of a reinforcement, but I even saw some really good hooks from Honoris throwing those Feud players off the cliff. Doesn't matter what the gear difference is. When you get thrown off, you got to walk all the way around, just like everybody else. But now it looks like Feud is maybe getting a little bit serious again and actually going for that recap. We're still not seeing that overwhelming one-sided feed quite yet, and there it is. Now it's starting to come in with that quarter spin over by the corner of the objective there.
Yeah, rookie Roku, one of the top DPS of the lobby, finally flipping the switch here, as Feud looks like they're just saying, okay, that was a little too much playing with our food on that one. Cutie Annie trying to run onto the point, gets locked down by the great sword. Decapitate right there. Ooh, rookie almost gets pulled off the edge by Deal No Skill right there, but nope. Charging that focus fireball, wiping out again remaining members of the enemy guild in Honoris, standing on this. I wonder if that gives him slight advantage right there. He is slightly above them technically, barely on a high ground right there. With a big shield, he's got enough pressure to basically step forward as much as he wants. He's got his healer in his back pocket right there. He can be overly aggressive.
I'm watching Deal No Skill over here, one of the Honoris tanks at the edge over by the cliff. Definitely he is going to be looking for some hooks and pushes here, and gets a massive chain hook. Doesn't quite follow up the shield charge. I really thought he was going to get 4 people off the cliff there. I was anticipating that, but he's not able to complete that play. That is too bad. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him though and seeing what he's going for here. Look, there it is. You gotta love it. Azrael, the classic cliff plays. It doesn't matter again what the gear difference is, as long as you got enough collision chance to make that happen. Any tank can find big value here. Every one of those pushes is basically the same as getting a kill, so you won't show up on the scoreboard at the end of the match, but we've got a potential top fragger over here. Deal No Skill playing pure tank.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what tanks do, man. And Cutie Annie honestly putting down a lot of damage right now. Honoris getting a lot of kills in this matchup right now. And again, we're not used to this necessarily on behalf of Honoris, as again, they surge onto the point. Some moments of brilliance here from this guild, this Feud slap. Again, their strength over the match slips repeatedly here, as again it looks like really one-sided, and then we see Honoris take position on the Riftstone, and it's not because Feud is necessarily throwing, it's because there's just some brief moments of brilliance here on the side of Honoris. Cutie Andy again kiting around on this crossbow dagger, putting in a lot of work for his team right now, as he continually kites around to try to make something happen right now. But again, Feud Slap owns the Rift once again with under 9 minutes left on the clock. Time's running out for Honoris here.
Yeah, we could see just the absolute value and importance of momentum here. When Feud Slap is established on the points and they're not allowing Honoris to get any momentum going, they look really strong. But once Honoris gets some establishment here, once they get their buffs up, once they get some space over by the stone, it's a little bit more back and forth. Obviously still pretty one-sided and advantage of Feud Slap, but just a little bit of momentum here makes a big difference for the underdog guild.
Yeah, absolutely it does on this one. And again, I'm actually impressed that Honoris, seeing how the first few engagements went, I'm impressed that Honoris is even able to stand up to this one over here. Barzy plowing onto the stone right now. Cutie Annie again kiting around the outside of the fight. Such an elegant class to watch play. But honestly, again, A fart in the wind, if targeted down at all, is a good reference that Morlin might remember from back in the day. Kimiko doing her best to try to heal on the point itself. Flumi right here as well. Oh my goodness, all of them are going to go down right away. As Feud Slap starts to tighten that vice at the end of time here. Honoris did manage to initiate a cap, but just can't keep enough people on the point.
Yeah, and my favorite tank, Deal No Skill, finally goes down as Feud Slap gets tired of getting repeatedly thrown off. If he could have gotten just a little bit of backup from a healer there, I think that guy could have lived forever, but they are finally able to take him out. I'm keeping an eye on G9 now, the Gladiator player. I'm actually seeing him get more kills than almost any other Honoris player, and it's a little surprising to see a Gladiator top frag in a lopsided match like this. Gladiator going to be a class that really excels with a lot of gear and a lot of momentum. Playing from behind, it's a little bit rougher to do, but he is making it happen. Might be in the same party as QT Andy. I'm seeing them often go for the same targets.
Yeah, absolutely. Diceway, the last man left alive on Honoris right now. Actually, no, Deal No Skill on the backside, sneaking his way onto the point right now. He's got 5 people on him. He is eventually going to go down. Zulik pumping him with that crossbow dagger damage on the other side. And again, Feud Slam. Again, we're seeing crossbow daggers so much more prominent in the current metagame now. You're seeing how many people love this class and just why. It looks like one of the most fun DPS classes to be playing in the game. So much mobility and so much skill expression that you're seeing on this class because that high mobility, high damage. But again, you are easily one shot by just about anyone. Anyone that feuds a crossbow dagger is going to have a great time if you have a great sword in your hand there. PN 1404 going to run in on behalf of his guild right there. He's getting focused down though. We'll see if his guild can follow up. Case gets knocked down. Zelik dives onto the background, gonna try to lock down Angle. He does find him right there, and you see him look at him putting down this damage, but you see Manwa on the high ground. Manwa finds him. There is always a bigger fish, and that Liberator says, get out of here. You're not allowed to do that around here. PN 1404 seeking revenge for his fallen comrade right there, but Manwa doing a great job on behalf of Honoris, trying to pump damage back and return fire.
Yeah, just an absolutely devastating dev smash there in that choke. I saw one of the Feud Slap tanks land on Cutie Andy and take about 5 other people with that stun, and they all just melted perfectly inside of that narrow space. You got to be careful when you're moving in and out. There's only a couple choke points on this map, and if you got to move through them, you got to move through them quickly. You really don't want to linger and fight. We see Honoris again fighting right in that tiny little clump, and it's just so free. If another one of those dev smashes goes out, then they're all going to be free food. Now they're finally moving inside a lot better. This is what you want to see here, and this is the squad from Honoris that has been doing the most work, getting the most value. You've got Cutie Andy, you've got G9, and I'm keeping an eye on these guys to see what they can do out here.
Yeah, absolutely. They are certainly getting closer to the point. And a cap has been initiated on behalf of Honoris, and they actually have more people on the point right now. They're at 10%, climbing to 11. I don't want to freak out too soon on this one, but again, they did cap earlier. That may have been intentional by Feud, but I think they overstepped on that one. And now you can see just how close the match actually does look. As Feud does not have complete control of this one. Honoris starting to rally onto the point. Yeah, but it's not enough though. Feud Slap able to just take them down. They pull their flankers back to the lobby. Part of this might be that Zed is on Union break on behalf of his guild right now on Feud Slap. Maybe a G kick is required here. This guy went to go get a cup of coffee. Dad, I'm gonna go get some milk situation. Yeah, I'd start moving too, bucko. As he finally kicks it back into gear, starts contributing to the match. You see Feud Slap got back up to 10% once again right there. Kissless right now on that Cordy crossbow, doing what he can in the middle of everyone to try to get some big spins down and swing the fight back towards Feud Slap, but gets killed right there. Honoris with a big kill feed right there, and they have 22 people on the point as they continually contest this Feud Slap squad.
Yeah, you know, if you are going to AFK, you at least want to AFK inside of the objective. But I'm still watching this Honoris kill squad. They're now inside the objective with the rest of their guild fighting, and I think they're finding some decent value there. But I don't know, it kind of seemed like when they were able to pull some Feud Slap players away from the stone and outside, that might have been worth a little bit more. That's a solid squad, and Feud Slap was going to have to dedicate some serious resources to shut them down. But now that they're with the rest of the main ball, then they're not really able to provide as much value because you've got the whole Feud Slap guild that's able to react to them now instead of just a handful of people on the outskirts.
Yeah, Feud gonna go ahead and lock this one down just one more time. Don't want to give this one away. They're enjoying the final part of this match. Good on everybody to agree to a 30v30. That's good sport PvP. You'll love to see that on the EU scene. Goatborn getting a big kill feed right here at the end of time. 2.5 minutes left on the clock here as time ticks down at the end of this lobby. Honoris trying to run on to the point, but sadly they have run out of time, so I believe they are just going to try to skirmish as much as they can. Big kill feed on the side of Honoris right there. Manwa getting yet another kill. 30,000 health on a Liberator, as chat so aptly pointed out. It's not something that you see every day, Morland.
Yeah, the the tank liberator, it's I mean, it's hard to kill. You can't say that it's easy to kill, I guess.
Well, maybe you can, because he just got 2 shots. Good fight. Nice HP. LOL. Gets pulled in and immediately 2-shot right there. And again, we're gonna watch QT Andy try to round this one out as he kites through the ball. Again, lots of mobility on this class. He's looking to try to find any kills that he can. Goes invisible. Realized he's been locked. He's been target acquired on this one. As again, his kill Honoris keeps getting kill feeds right at the end here. Sure, it's too little too late to try to take the point. That doesn't mean they can't have fun though. Although Cutie Andy right in the middle of everything. I'm not sure this is where you want to be. Catches a heal from his healer on that overextension, so good job there. Wherever the DPS mess up or overstep their bounds, there is a healer there to catch you, at least a good healer right there. And so Cutie Andy's best static, I'll be honest with you, it looked like their static had the most impact on the side of Honoris.
Yeah, by far, watching Cutie Andy's static do work along the edge of the fight and now in the ball itself. He's right up in there as a crossbow player, and his healer's doing a good job of keeping him alive. Pretty good movement as well, keeping himself out of danger. I'm honestly surprised that Feud Slap hasn't noticed him a little bit more. There's only a handful of Honoris players that are getting really high value as DPS, and he is definitely one of them. Nonetheless, they are not really chasing after him too hard, so he's able to play on this objective and get a lot of value. I think if we had seen this from Honoris a little bit earlier in the fight, we could have seen a little bit more back and forth, but of course it's going to be a little bit too late now. Even if they can get more people on the stone, the clock time is just running out. But definitely a massive improvement from what we saw from those first few engages. It almost looked like a completely different Honoris in the second half of this, making those adjustments and finally showing up to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. They saw they took an inch and got the whole arm in this match, and I'm very impressed with them. They got up to 21%, but time is going to run out right now. Honoris will see the end of their tournament run here, and Feud Slap will go on to fight what could be their final boss, Aura, in the next round of this tournament. Good fights to both teams right here. Let's take a quick look at the kills. Rookie Roku, Kurt, Lawson, and New, the top 3 of the lobby right here on 3 different classes. You got the Cordion number 3, Spear Dagger at number 2, and again, a Staff Dagger at number 1. It looks like Flying Whales in there as well. Honoris, Mayrix coming in at the rank 1 on Honoris right there. In terms of defeats, damage done, again, the usual suspects right here. Honoris, Secundi, and Synchro, the top DPS of the lobby for Honoris. Damage taken over here is Kimiko on that healer. 2 healers rounding out the top damage taken. Daisu as well. Crusader, Flumi 1, the first tank is well, first true tank of the lobby, comes in at number 3 right there. Amount healed, again, it's Reeboks, Slan Joe, Behavior, and Kimiko, the top healers of the lobby. Kimiko, the top healer for Honoris there. Honestly, closer match than I thought given the first engagement.
Yeah, definitely. And the scoreboards, we have a few outstanding players from Honoris definitely mixed in towards the top 10 there. So that was not as lopsided as the first few fights looked. I mean, those first few fights, they didn't just look lopsided. They were very lopsided. But yeah, those last few minutes, Honoris really showed up. They caught their stride. That flank group started to get a lot of value and maybe spread Feud Slap out a little bit. I think if they had tried that a little bit earlier instead of kind of grouping up and doing those slow initial engages, then they could get some value there with a little bit of practice. This guild from 2004 I think could still be competitive. I hope that they take this opportunity to learn and improve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good fights to both guilds on that one. I think both guilds had moments where they both looked really good. So good fights to Feud Slap, and congratulations to them for moving on to the next round. But Honoris certainly looked pretty good too.